Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you hear us, wherever you see us. This is the
Cause
breakdown.
it can go from classy to Cassie real quick, motherfucker.
I know that's right. So, nonetheless, you know, this episode is dedicated to salaciousness, okay? Because there's a lot to talk about in so little time. Now I know on social media, everybody has been a buzz when it comes to talking about the whole Diddy, um, ongoing saga, the case. Right now, it seems Big Daddy Cool Sour Diesel has an opinion of what's going on. So we're going to turn it to our correspondent partner, Big Daddy Cool Sour Diesel.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? I'm just here to give it to you what you want to hear. I'm gonna say it like how you've been saying it behind closed doors, but you're scared to say it on the camera. So here we go. That bitch is a liar. She's a fraud. She's a freak. She knows what she wanted. Like, listen, I'm a freak myself. I know what I like to do. Okay, let's just say she liked to do what she do, and in those times and in those whiles, it just went over extensive. You know what I mean? Like, hey, okay, come on, I'm ready to stop, but it just kept going. All she had to do was just get her ass up and leave, just like she could have been left the whole duration of this relationship. She was not held back. She wasn't held against her will or none of that. But the moment this man says Kim Porter is his soulmate. Oh my gosh, that's enough, Sean. I'm gone. I'm done with you. You could have been left, but you didn't. You know why? Because your career was in a fucking shitter. It was in the dumps. You can't sing worth shit. Okay? She's a very pretty girl. She should have went back to modeling. She should have done that. But let's call a spade a spade. She was a young girl. She was 22 years old. Cool. This is P. Diddy. This is P. Diddy. Millionaire, billionaire, what have you, extraordinaire. Okay, he can buy you whatever you want. Anything at that time was in your reach, and you took it. You took it. You were setting up your own goddamn parties. It was times that he said, "Yo, I think we should chill," but you still insist on doing it. Now, I am a firm believer also too that it could have gotten to a point where it was something that she wasn't willing to do, but then on going time, it just like she just like fuck it. She just
Stockholm syndrome.
yeah, Stockholm syndrome, if you will, if you want to call it that. But she has some freak in her too. Like she's young. She knew what she wanted. She had that whole time to get up out of there. And I've seen domestic disputes, violence, and no way am I saying that is right, and nor do I condone it. I have I have females in my family. I have several sisters and cousins, so I don't condone it. But I mean, eh, a little kick, a little here and there. First of all, you done got this man for his money. You done got it for the lawsuit. You done got the 10 million from the hotel, and then you turn around, you got the 20 million from Puff. Now I'll be damned. Puff is in the shitter right now. Bitch, I paid you to avoid this shit. Now I'm in here with this shit. Oh, come on. Come on. Give me something else here. She knew what she was doing, man. She knew what she was doing. And now that everything has backfired, she's trying to throw him underneath the bus, all these things. She's a
What do
woman
you think has
scorned.
backfired?
What I think has backfired is the hmm, what I think is backfired, like I said, like she was a part of the freak offs, right? She enjoyed it, she loved it. So it's like shit, nigga. They don't want me, they want you. So that is a plan that has backfired. So it's like shit. I'm gonna throw everything on you. Yes, he did this, he did that when I didn't want to do it. Sometimes I engaged, but that was it for me. And then these things kept going. Then you're saying like this man. Oh my gosh. She is embarrassing this man. I'm so sorry. We all knew Diddy was a little freak, but god damn it, I didn't know he was this much of a freak. Nigga like nut on his nipples and like, come on, man. Damn it.
Brandon?
Nut on
Um,
his nipples. It's crazy.
damn.
I said a lot. I'm sorry.
You did say a lot, and there's things that I don't really disagree. I mean, maybe in a way it was more articulated, but
Yeah, but
the core of
my
what
ignorant
just
mind, my ignorant mind is for the ignorant masses.
I get it. In my intellectual mind, I was trying to reel this in for those of them that listens to this all the time and or watch this. I feel like one, this is a situation that one, all of this stuff I didn't not expect to hear these kind of things. I did think it was a little disheartening when they tried to already try to soften the blow by having Diddy's family come to the court the first few days of the trial and then them leaving and them making it a thing about how the family felt, especially like his daughters there hearing the stories. I don't think that this was any kind of place for a loved one. I mean, when you're in court, you know, people listen to stories and they hear and see things that they don't normally hear about their family members, but I just don't think this was the place for them. Secondly, when it comes to Cassie, this was civil. Originally, it wasn't really, you know, in a criminal court. If you would, like I said numerous of times, I do not believe in victim shaming. I think that eventually, like, you know, sometimes you're introduced to things. We all know what a turnout is. There's a such thing as being turned out into something. You can be turned out into something. You can be introduced into something. It might not have been something originally that you used to be into, but now you're into it. This is what we're seeing taking place. I've said this several times. I'm going to say it again, that this is a humiliation ritual and Diddy will be free.
Also, another thing, just to add on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why wasn't this going on with any of with all his other females, right? The J Lo's, the Kim Porters, and whoever else in the
Some
mix.
people have stories. Some people have 20
Yeah, they
year
might.
30
They might.
year NDAs, and since they're still alive, they really can't talk. And the ones that maybe were going to talk, they possibly.
Well, you know why? You know why that is this led to be true? It's because she was down with it. He probably tried his way with them and it didn't go. And we're like, oh wow, Cassie, you with it? I'm with anything you want. Just buy me up. And
Well,
that's the way it's looking to me.
well, let me say this. Few things. First, Cassie was asked to come and speak. So it, you know, like she was subpoenaed to speak. So it wasn't that she came down and she chose to expose her side of the story. She was subpoenaed to speak. The trial that Diddy's actually on has nothing to do with her technically because it's a RICO trial. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? So so um I don't know. I don't know if she was down for it. I who knows, right? You know, because the only people that really know the story would be them. Uh I will say that, you know, like you both stated, Stockholm syndrome is real. You know what I'm saying? And it's really not easy at times for people to pick up and just leave, right? Because that's how we have domestic violence situations and stuff like that. Now, here's what I will say. I will say that I believe that the part of the sex trafficking and, you know, part of the trial, I think is bullshit. You know, if you're gonna bring him up for charges for something, bring him up for domestic violence, or
Yes,
bring him up for
yes.
sex for sex trafficking because
Where
that
is it linked to sex trafficking?
It's no
exactly,
where's the set trafficking?
Where's the sex trafficking at?
and that's what he's actually in court for. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
I know,
saying?
but
and
where
they haven't brought
is
that.
the ocular proof that this man has been sex trafficking people? Where is it?
And there is none. There's absolutely none, and that's why I think this is a witch hunt for him. I think it's definitely a witch hunt because I think that I now is there things that you actually could charge Diddy for? Absolutely, right?
Yes, yes, yes,
Absolutely. There's things
yes.
that Diddy could be tried for, but trying for that and not for something because, you know, much like we're going to go into our second topic in a second, you know, he's going to, you know, already in the court of public opinion, he's convicted. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? He's convicted in that court. And unfortunately, juries sometimes when it comes to a celebrity
Go
and
with
things of
that.
that nature, they're not looking at the case. They're not saying this is beyond a reasonable doubt. Shout out to anybody that when been on a jury before. They're not saying that,
I
right?
have.
I
You
have
know,
to.
so you know, if he gets convicted in this is going to be based on personal feelings and not actually the case in itself. because nobody wants to say it, but you're charging him for the wrong thing.
Yes,
You
agreed.
know,
I 200, 2000% agree, and I agree with he's on the trial. He's on the trial for the wrong thing, and there are things that you could charge him with, but that's not what is apparent right here. I have to agree with that. Unfortunately, I think what happens is a lot of times with what we see with a lot of the celebrity cases is there is this thing called like a celebrity syndrome where they start to believe the life that they have been putting out there in media, through publicists, through whatever releases that they put, they start to believe themselves to be as such. So I think this is also an eye opener if it's not for Mr. Combs as well, that he could need to wake up and come out of the celebrity syndrome. I know it's been a part of his life since he's been younger, but he got to wake up. It's time to wake up.
Make no mistake about it. We are not excusing him for his actions.
No,
He
no.
is a
right.
human piece of shit. He is garbage. He is trash. He is all those things combined in the dumpster. But however, all right, the crime that he is truly committed for, that he is truly have done, is for being a piece of shit and this domestic dispute that he has been. And let's come on now. Diddy is a person that the law and everyone has been trying to get for years, right? And I guess this time is his time.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I think that he could be charged with something else and on trial for something else. But if he's convicted in this case, I believe that it's going to be based upon people's personal feelings as opposed to the actual trial itself. Next on the list, unless you guys want to say one more thing in regards to this. Okay. Next on the list is last week on Monday, the attorney for Tory Lanez did a press conference, and the press conference said that the security guard that was there that night said that Tory Lanez did not shoot Megan Thee Stallion in the feet, I should say rather. And in fact, it was Kelsey that did it. Okay, which in most cases will give grounds for a retrial. But before you guys chime in, they're also looking for a pardon from the California governor. Based upon the new evidence. So they're either going to take the pardon from the governor or they're going to go for a retrial in this. In this case. So, anybody wants to go first?
Oh man, this situation really sucks. It really does. And what I could say to Tory is, you should have told. You should have told. Well, I mean, at that time and point, what was going to happen to you, brother? Nothing. The world loves Tory Lanez, and the world loves Tory Lanez, and they even love more snitches. Would he have snitched? Listen, all he had to do, listen, it wasn't me, it was her. We still would have loved Tory. He should have told. He should have fucking told. He should have told. And this pardon shit. Oh wait, hold on. We talking about the pardon for the case and not the what's that shit that's going around? The petition that's going around to get him out because of the other incident.
The other incident.
He was stabbed up 14 times in jail.
Oh yeah. No, they want to move him out of that prison in particular.
I mean, and by the looks of things, he was that should happen to him because he was being disrespectful to one of the inmates' wife on the floor, and he got busy on him 14 times. Take that. Man, listen, man.
Speaking of the Diddy,
they got to his body, yada 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 yada.
Listen, you know what? This whole thing with this Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion shit, it sucks for both of them. Tory Lanez on losing his freedom, going through the shit that he's going through. I mean, I wouldn't wish jail on no black man. You know what I mean? All you other racists, y'all can go. But not on my kind, especially for Tory Lanez, man. And then on the other hand, for Megan, like she's going through it a lot. Like everyone see her as a liar. They blaming her for this shit that happened to Tory Lanez.
So she don't know who shot her in the foot. She knew that it was Kelsey. Tory knew it was Kelsey. Kelsey knew it was Kelsey. But everybody let Tory take the fall for it.
Well,
Yeah,
I think that was because I think with that situation, I think that they didn't think he was going to be convicted. That's what I think happened. I think this whole thing was this was a work.
You thought it was going to be a publicity stunt that went too far. The Lord just, first of all, wasn't it during the pandemic when the incident happened?
Yes.
So that mean that everyone's eyes, who even if you're, a DA, your attorney general, whatever, at home board, your eyes are now on this case because it's the pandemic. We're inside and everything that's news is super sensationalized, right? So now you're really paying attention to this. Did they do the proper investigation as we were speaking about on the show when we were talking about Patrick and black men when they do things? Is the proper investigation done? Is the goose good for the goose and the gander at the same time?
Random thoughts. I think that this was first of all, this case was 2 weeks. Okay, this was 2 weeks, and I mean technically it was a week because it took at least a few days for them to deliberate. So it was really fast. Also, there were so many people not interviewed. Okay, like the EMT was never interviewed. Kendall Jenner was never interviewed. It was so many things happened that went awry. What from the cops saying that they did see the feet shot, then the hospital saying they didn't pull out bullet fragments. Then the doctors say that they had to have surgery to remove the bullet fragments. It was a whole bunch of bullshit that happened. It was piss poor done. It was basically, I blame Tory Lanez attorney. He needs to use how Diddy's using Mark Garagos. Okay, that's Mark Garagos got off Michael Jackson. He got off Chris Brown. You know what I'm saying? Call Mark Garagos. Because he should have handled that case because it didn't make any sense. It really just did not. And it's more leaning. And then also Kelsey changed her story like 3 different times. Okay, 3 different times her story was changed. So then I'm like, and also it's more leaning that she would have done it because she found out that night that Tory Lanez was sleeping with Meg Thee Stallion. Mm-hmm. So at the same token, if you're upset, I think there could have been a struggle with the gun. She was upset when she found out because they were pulled over because they were arguing in the street. A gun was pulled. And then after because guess what? Here's another thing. His fingerprints were not on the gun. How did this did not make sense. Look, I'm not saying that Megan Thee Stallion was not shot. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, for anybody that's listening to us right now or watching us.
Did we ever see the bullet wound?
No, we never saw it. We never saw it.
She was not shot. She was shocked.
We saw her perform 2 weeks later at the BET Awards.
Like, listen, Megan, I love you, but you were in shock. Get it? Like you in a bullet never ever went past you, towards you, near you, nothing. I get it. So for that first time when it did happen, you were in shock. You felt like you were shot, but you were not shot, babes. You have no bullet hole in it. I seen things. I know things.
And you know what, D? You're absolutely right. Because something about that story makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Not to mention,
you fall out with the girl too.
Exactly. And then Kelsey got fucking immunity. Okay. And then total different story after the immunity. Mm-hmm. It went to Tory.
First of all, Tory put in that call. He was very concerned, checking in. He called Kelsey. He offered to give up money. And he seemed very sincere and genuine in what he was doing. Right. Fast forward to Meg wanted to press charges because he's talking too damn. No, you're scorned. I don't know which woman in this situation is scorned more, Kelsey or Megan. Because this shit is ridiculous.
I'm gonna say Kelsey.
I'm gonna go with Kelsey because she's shy.
Yeah, and then you know what? And let's say this. Let's say this. Look, a lot of people. I want everybody. I'm gonna treat this like like the movie A Time to Kill for a second.
Okay.
If everybody can take Tory Lanez out the situation, and put somebody in that would you still believe that Tory Lanez was guilty? That's all you have to say. I know people don't like take Tory out, put another person in that same scenario with the same evidence. And would you still feel the same way to say that Tory Lanez needs to be in prison? That's the only difference that I'm saying.
No, because if it went down the same way, no. Like if you didn't do the shooting, then what the fuck you doing in jail for?
Exactly. But then now it's almost sacrilegious to say that he may be innocent because you're going to get attacked. You're going to get attacked because even influencers are like, no, fuck that. No, the security guard's a liar. Look, not me, not Sour Diesel, not Random Thoughts. We're not attorneys in no way, shape, or form. We are wrestling journalists. But the fact is that what we do know for a fact is we just gave you the case. There was nothing there that we left out on the case. We gave you the case. And if you hear the facts in the way it was just presented, right, do you believe this man is guilty still? Because all I'm saying is take out Tory Lanez and put your own brother in. Put your own cousin in to that situation and see if you would feel the same exact way at it. And if you could say, no, I would not feel the same exact way, then yes, you got to give credit where credit is due and be fair to Tory Lanez in that situation.
I don't know. Some of these people, brothers and cousin, might have did it though.
This is a true case of
they might have shot.
Huh?
This is the true case of someone being pissed on and telling them that it's rain. Okay.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
You're absolutely right about that because it's sad, man. It's a real sad situation. I mean, I felt bad from when he, I took flack on social media when I said, I don't think he did it. I really don't. I truly did not think he did it. I was like, I said
the same thing.
I said, there's no evidence. Because guess what? If anything, there would have been gun residue on his hand. There would have been.
Tory was moving with so much confidence. You understand? Like that man was believing in God. Like he had God on his side. Like you can tell. Like that man did not do that shit. He did not do that, and it's fucked up.
It's sad. It's sad. Like, look, I think that this was like a wrestling term. A work became a shoot very fast because I totally believe that this went from whatever they were planning. It backfired because I don't think that the media they didn't think that the media would have picked it up in the way it did, and guess what? The only person out this situation that actually came out being very well was Meg Thee Stallion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now I'm not saying that she wasn't a talented artist, but she's the only person that really benefited out of the situation besides the fact of being shot. She's a person that benefited out of the situation because what also happened in 2020 is she dropped Savage and Body Yaddy 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 Yaddy. She dropped both of them in the same year. Dances came out on TikTok and it blew her career up. You know what I'm saying? And what have you. So at the end of the day, we don't know what really happened that night. And frankly, I don't think we'll ever really will. Okay? I don't think we'll ever know what happened that night. But nonetheless, I want to move on to now. My birthday brother. Oh my God. He's locked up in fucking England. Chris Brown, man.
Free Chris Brown.
The man just the day before said free Tory, and now we're saying free Breezy. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen. Now, I'm gonna say this before you guys give a chime in. So understand something. Whoever is around my birthday brother, okay, is a fuck boy. They knew this man had warrants in Great Britain. They knew that. He never answered the charges from when the incident happened in 2023. All right. You have this man go over to Great Britain, and now, as soon as he's locked up from his fucking hotel room. You know what I'm saying? His team should have taken care of that. His attorney, his management, everybody should have said, Chris, do not go to Great Britain. You did not go in 2 years. So what the fuck was the reason why you went over there? It's that damn Taurus energy. We always feel that we're invincible and we're gonna do whatever we feel like, and people are gonna love it or fucking, love it or hate it. We're gonna do what the fuck we feel like, and that's why you went over. Random thoughts. You have Tauruses in your life. You know what I mean? So you know how we get. What do you think?
I do know how. I absolutely know how y'all get. First of all, first thing first, and last thing last. Free Chris Brown. Free Chris Brown. Free Chris Brown until that ding is backwards. He should not have went to Great Britain. I mean, he had sold out shows in South Africa, had the ground, the earth, the motherland shaking from all his hits. The man just was on a tour, is about to launch a new tour that everyone is looking forward to this summer coming up. We need the man. We need the man to be out and being able to go to rehearsals so that he's able to put on the best show. I don't know why he went out to Great Britain, but once again, free Chris Brown till that thing is backwards. Let my man's out.
What's up, Dave?
Leave him alone. Leave him alone. Chris ain't trying to do nothing to nobody. He's trying to stay out the way. He's trying to be a better person, and y'all just keep fucking with him. Right about now, it is not a great time to be a black entertainer, because they just snatching up everybody. I don't know who's next.
You know who's next.
I don't want to say it, but
okay.
It's just.
Are we watching the same show?
I don't want to say it. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. But yeah, I just had to say, just free Chris Brown, free Chris Brown, free Chris Brown until it's backwards.
Absolutely. And you know what?
I know what it's like to deal with a Taurus. My son's mother is a Taurus, and bullheaded, and it can get like that. You know what I mean? He probably was under the presumption that he's good out there. You know what I'm saying? And his team should have did better. Maybe that was something that slipped their minds and they must have forgotten. But I feel like anytime that Chris is involved with any legal problems, you should always check on that. Make sure everything is always good before touring or doing whatever, because that is your money. He makes the money for the team, his family, and you got to do anything you can to protect them at all costs. Right now is a terrible time for him, and hopefully he'll get that shit situated.
Absolutely. All right. Wow. That was a lot. We just went through a whole bunch. Few things before we end up for the night. First and foremost, want to send our condolences. The man's not dead, but just say hopefully that he beats it and have a speedy recovery to JR. Jim Ross, who long time wrestling announcer, the greatest in the business. So he was just diagnosed with cancer this week, and we hope that obviously he beats it and he'll be back broadcasting, and doing what he does best, being behind the microphone. Second, of course, is also wishing a speedy recovery, and he beats the cancer as well. Announced today, former President Joe Biden was diagnosed with prostate cancer today. So we wish him a speedy recovery, and hopefully he beats it as well. And last but certainly not least, rest in peace to the people that lost their life on that boat that hit the Brooklyn Bridge, because we're in New York City. The boat that hit the Brooklyn Bridge yesterday, that I watched that video, and it is horrendous, and it is really wow, man.
People died. I thought they said 37 was injured.
Yeah, but there's 2 people died. From
those are the ones that was in critical.
Yeah. So rest in peace to them, of course. Also, on a lighter note, it is Haitian Flag Day, so shouts to all the Haitians out there. I go to church. All the Haitian zones out there. y'all had Nostrand Avenue on lock today.
Haitian Massive.
Yeah, so big up to all the Haitian Massive and things like that. And other than
Zo.
Other than all that good stuff, Saka Fete. And I'm gonna turn it to my brothers so they could say their final thoughts and we close out for the night.
The life of the love is the love of the life. Make sure you love your life.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. It's there for a purpose. That's it.
Absolutely. And you know what? We always appreciate you tuning in every single time we do the breakdown. You know what? For Sour Diesel, Brandon Thoughts, and myself, we love you for listening and watching, and we'll see you on the next episode. That's it for the night, and peace.
Peace out.